And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, a real estate and finance expert, and goes to bat for you every day as your consumer advocate. Your host, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again another day, picking a fight with the mainstream media and providing you the timely truth centered around your real estate, credit, finance, estate planning, all types of law categories covered here with our multiple attorneys. We're talking about book publishing today and writing your own book. So we are poised to help you win in any marketplace. We want to entertain, educate, engage in an effort to help you win in any marketplace.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
Now, I want you to pull out your smartphone and save our consumer advocate hotline number in your phone. It's 813-917-1894.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
813-917-1894. And we want you to bookmark realestateradiotampa.com. That's our website, blog site, where you can see expert contributor links, all of our expert contributors. You can also watch the show live if you happen to be in your office right now or on a home computer or even your smartphone. Go ahead and use the Google Chrome app and pull up our website, realestateradiotampa.com, and click on the live stream app, and you can watch the live stream. We've got cameras here in studio. We create a lot of social media content as well for our business owner partners, and it's a way that you can check out our YouTube channel, see a lot of information there. Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, you name it, we're on it. Please connect with us. Utilize the hashtag AskTheREQB, and we're going to help you out with any questions you may have. You've got questions as consumers. We're going to provide you answers, but we're also going to take it a step further. We want to give you these action items to help you live a better life, build a legacy for your family. And we don't care if you're climbing a corporate ladder or if you throw a ladder in your truck on the way to work. This show's for you. We want to help you win in any marketplace. So I've got some intelligent folks here in studio with me. I'm pleased to have back Mr. Peter Macaluso, Macaluso Law. Welcome back in, sir.
How are you, sir? Nice to see you today.
Excellent. Yeah, criminal defense, immigration law, 43-plus years, I think, if I recall.
Actually, going on 46 this year.
46 years in law. So a plethora of information here is attorney Peter Macaluso. Thanks for coming in. Also in studio, Tara Richter, owner of Richter Publishing. Welcome back in, Tara.
Thanks for having me on.
Let's go ahead and talk about it.
Yeah, today we're going to talk a little bit about miracles and why now is the time to publish your memoirs in a book and leave your legacy.
Exactly. Awesome. Love it. That's a great tease of what we're going to talk about. And you have a brace on.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and talk about it.
Let's go ahead and do it right now.
I guess.
Okay. Well, so this is the first time I'm actually talking about it. Like for the media, for the people looking at the video right now, I have a nice collar around my neck. And a month ago, unfortunately, I had an accident where I fell down my stairs backwards. Oh. And I severed 3 ligaments in my neck. And it was really bad. Thank goodness my roommate was home. She heard the noises and just this boom, boom, boom of falling down the staircase. But yet I didn't scream or anything. And she said she felt this cold breeze of death in the house, and she thought I was dead. And it was so scary. But thank goodness I wasn't. And she was able to get me up, and I went to the emergency room at Countryside, where then they ran some MRIs and scans and stuff, and then they immediately came, put this on, put me in a wheelchair, and they're like, "Why are you walking?" Because I drove myself there.
Wow.
Which I shouldn't have. And, basically then they thought, I was going to be paralyzed. So it was really scary. Then they sent me by ambulance to St. Joseph in Tampa, where I was in the critical care unit for 4 days.
Wow.
And they were monitoring. They had stuff strapped to my legs, my arms. I had 2 IVs in, hopped up on a lot of morphine, and, checking my vitals every hour, because they said basically just want to, like when you stretch those ligaments, it creates a hematoma, which is, kind of like a bruise or a bubble of blood, and it was pushing on my spinal cord that was losing feeling in my hands and feet.
Wow.
So they literally thought I was going to be paralyzed. But thankfully, I'm not.
Right.
I'm up, I'm walking, and I mean, it's a miracle that I am, because the neurosurgeon wanted to cut my neck open and fuse my vertebrae.
Oh.
And I was like, I'm too young for that.
Yeah, no.
I don't want to do that right now. So I'm like, what are my options?
Yeah.
And he's like, 50% chance it'll heal on its own, 50% chance it won't, and we'll have to do surgery. And so I opted for the natural healing because that's more of what I'm a big proponent of.
Yeah.
And within 48 hours, I was able to lift myself up out of the bed.
Wow.
Within 3 days, I was able to walk. They were able to take me off all the IVs and everything. The 4th day, I was released from the hospital, and now I'm walking, getting around, healing.
Great.
And, I mean, it's a miracle. I really think the powers that be were like, you have too much stuff left to get done on this planet.
Blessed and highly favored. That's one of my incantations.
Yeah, it's like, you look at all the books you have in your pipeline. You're like, you're not getting out of this so easy.
No, that's right. Absolutely. Well,
absolutely. And that's why, you know, I say now is the time to write your book, to write your memoirs, because you don't know how much time you have left.
Right.
You know, if I would have been dead at the bottom of the stairs, I still have 10 books out there. You know, I have like my Dating Jungle series. This is one of them. I have my series about how to write and publish your own book. So, you know, I still have, my legacy is already out there.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I have more time to build on it, and I can write and publish more books. But for people that are thinking about writing a book, you know, now's the time to do it. Whether you're 25, 35, 45, you never know when you're, you know, going to hit by a bus or your time's up.
You fall down the stairs. I mean, anything. It could happen.
Anything. So, you know, do it now. And if you're young, you know, then you can have time to write a sequel to your your memoirs.
Yeah, I felt kind of bad. You know, Tara and I, we work on Skype sometimes, or I think it was a FaceTime, and you know, I saw her in the brace, and I was on the boat last weekend, I think it was, and we were doing we're working on a project together on my next book. Awesome book. I can't wait till it comes out. I don't even want to tease it yet because I don't want to give anybody any ideas to try to replicate what we're doing. But yeah, so I had the phone up and she said, "Are you on the boat right now?" So I've kind of felt bad about that. But
it's all good. I mean, you got to live life because, you know, once again, you don't know what's going to happen. So that's the whole thing. Do your book, get it out now. Because, I mean, the cool thing about having, you know, publishing your memoirs and leaving that legacy is that it'll be up on distribution channels forever. So once you have passed away, your grandkids can read it, their grandkids can read it. I mean, the beautiful thing, you know, with books is that you can influence people when you're not even there.
Yeah, I love that idea. You know,
absolutely.
Especially, you know, sit down with grandma, sit down with grandpa, get their stories, pull those great stories. You know, sometimes I talk to my granny Evelyn down in South Florida. You know, grew up in a completely different era than we did, and you know, I remember one of the stories was, you know, the day after she got married, she was back out working in the fields the next day. There wasn't a honeymoon. You know, they're canning tomatoes. I mean, so you get all these life stories and these life lessons as well.
Absolutely, and that's one of the points I was going to make is, you know, the ancestry sites are really cool. You can get facts about your heritage, but wouldn't it be great to hear it from grandma's point of view or grandpa's point of view? Like, just like you said, what was it like to live in the early 1900s? How was society different? I mean, shoot, it's only been like back in 1950, women could not get a mortgage without their husband on the title. So, you know, I mean, it hasn't been that long, but we forget, you know, because we have it so easy now and we've progressed and gone so far. But what was it like 50 years ago, 60 years ago? Yeah,
it's interesting. You think about, you know, the pendulum swinging, and sometimes these different issues, these social issues, I feel like the pendulum swings too far on certain things. I don't want to go down a bunny trail and start talking about politics or anything like that. But, you know, a great point, you know, when you look at writing a book, putting things on paper, and potentially even doing an audio book behind it. You know, a lot of times that's what I do. I take a lot of my information and I try to read at least 1 or 2 books a month, and probably do more than that if I look back at my notes. But you know, a lot of it is on the iPhone and plugging in, and each morning starting off with some good motivational types of works from, you know, all of my favorites. You know, Robbins, Brian Tracy. You know, all the different folks, Les Brown. So you know, that's another idea.
Absolutely. And that it's such a great thing that you could go out and buy, you know, grandma's book or Uncle Joe's book and find out all of their information. Even one thing I thought would be a really cool idea, which I haven't tapped into it yet, is, you know, when people get married, they have to give it's like a little gift at the table
Right.
for all the friends and family that came. And I'm like, wouldn't it be cool if the bride and groom wrote a book of how
Sure.
they met and their relationship, and then grandma could write a chapter, or mom could write a chapter, and have this book about, you know, their whole journey with pictures, and everybody gets to leave the wedding with a book.
Love it. Very creative.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Very creative. So stay with us. We got some intelligent talk radio, some intelligent folks here in studio. We're talking with Tara Richter of Richter Publishing, Peter Macaluso. He's an attorney with Peter Macaluso Law, and we're going to touch on Tampa police sued over DUI arrest accused of trying to meet quotas. This and more from our experts here in studio, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, realestateradiotampa.com.
This is Warwick Dunn, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
Tara, we got about a minute left in this segment, but I want to see if have you written any law books? Do you have anything talking about this? Because I feel a book here.
Well, you know, the one, and of course I didn't bring it today because we were talking about memoirs, but that's Plaintiff 101 is really the only one that concerns law and, you know, her Karen Mertes getting hit by the drunk driver, and then her 4-year litigation process of the do's and don'ts of what to do during litigation. And hers was a DUI accident. It was not her, the one, though, that was drinking. So,
Right.
And I didn't bring that book here today, but yeah, that's an excellent book, Plaintiff 101, Karen Mertes, if you were hit by a drunk driver and what actions to take after that.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And, you know, I actually got hit by a drunk driver coming out of school, young age. You know, luckily I made it out with not many injuries, slight injuries. But, yeah, you know, it happens. It's out there. You know, the buzz driving is drunk driving. I want to remind you not to drink and drive, and texting. I see so many people out there texting on the phone and working, you know, while you're in the vehicle. It's like we're pressured in this. I joke about it. I call it our texting and tweeting and twerking age that we live in. You know, it's we have this.
No twerking in the car.
No, don't do it. So stay with us. We're going to talk about this Tampa police sued over DUI arrest and accused of trying to meet quotas. Stay with us. The Real Estate Quarterback Show, realestateradiotampa.com. All right. And I want to end the show with Tara Richter here, Richter Publishing. What else are you seeing out there, Tara?
Well, I was going to share with the listeners a really great memoir that we published, which is The Little Amazonian, which is by Miroslava Espinoza. And speaking of immigration, she is from Panama. And as you can tell from the cover, if you guys can see that, she has a very interesting story to tell.
Yeah. She's bigger than the horse.
Oh, I know. Yeah, she is an amazing woman. And the funny thing is, I say little woman because she's only about 5'2", but
Yep.
she is a bodybuilder, fitness competitor type woman, and she now lives in Panama, Florida. And her memoir is about her, you know, growing up in Panama and living in a third world country and everything that she had to go through and survive to even get an education. I mean, she literally grew up in the jungles with no electricity,
Wow.
no running water. Her and her brothers and sisters had to walk 3 miles in jungle before they got to the city just to go to school and then turn around and come back. And do
And
that.
our kids get mad when we say, you know, do some chores around the house and stuff.
Yeah. And I mean, literally, she has stories like there's a jaguar. No, was that jaguar, cougar? I can't remember.
Yeah.
That she went face to face with 5 years old.
Wow.
Her and her little brother would go out into the jungles to get food. 5 years old, she encountered this animal, and literally she's like looking at it locked on eye to eye and thought it was going to devour her, but instead it took off. And then when they went into the village later that day, they found out it attacked a 93-year-old man. And, you know, it had cubs, and so it was, you know, going to feed its children, and she really thinks that it saved her because she was a child.
Wow.
And it was a mother and could notice that. But this is a great book. It's on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, Nook, everywhere books are sold. But this is a fantastic memoir of what this little lady had to do to survive. And it's fantastic. This is one I really want to try to get into the movie theater.
That's a great story. You know, I was on a trip down to Cozumel, Mexico a couple years ago, and one of the stories was, I guess, you know, local folklore or whatever you call it, was that when there was a hurricane that came through 10 or 12 years ago, whatever it might have been, and they, wiped out the lower half of the island, the southern half of the island, and they actually found an indigenous group of people that were living there off the land that they didn't even know lived there in in Cozumel. So it's an interesting story. the little Amazonian. Is that on Amazon?
Yeah, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, Kindle and Nook, even iTunes, everywhere books are sold. And it's a great story of, growing up in a third world country, coming to America, making a life for yourself.
Yeah.
We don't realize what these people have to go through on a daily basis. Like I said, I can't even talk about it on the air, some of the things she encountered just to get an education.
Yep.
So, we do have it good here. And, and I know why people come to this country, because we do have it good.
Yep.
And, I think we really want to help, the immigrants that are coming here, make a life for themselves, because they'll work and do whatever they want to just so they can have a roof over their head.
Yeah.
So, get the book. It's amazing. You definitely, you'll be changed after you cannot read this thing and not leave with a wet eye.
And you've had books that you've written that have beat out as #1 bestsellers on Amazon. You beat out John Grisham. And so really cool stories there. And that's Tara Richter, Richter Publishing, LLC. She can help you as a ghostwriter. She can help you publish and put together the whole turnkey system to help you become a published author, grow your sphere of influence, maximize the exposure that you have on social media. So many reasons to reach out and check out realestateradiotampa.com. And our hotline is 917-1894. I want to thank Peter Macaluso, attorney with Macaluso Law. Great stories, great nuggets of advice, as well as Tara Richter of Richter Publishing, LLC here in Tampa Bay. And, hey, another great show, interesting content. We want to remind you, check out our YouTube channel. A lot of great content there as well, available at our YouTube channels, Facebook, all the Instagrams. And I have also written a book here. It's called The Real Estate Quarterback Show's Consumer Advocate Playbook. It's available as well on Amazon. The foreword was written by Tom Hopkins and Chris Brogan, CEO of Owner Media. So, yeah, thanks so much for coming in, guys. Thanks to our listeners out there, all the folks behind the scenes helping us put this together, over 80 show partners as well. So please go out and consider making a random act of kindness.